Hey guys, my name is Kyle August. Today I wanted to touch on a couple different ideas or things that people think hold them back when they're manifesting a specific person. But I'm here to tell you there is literally nothing that could ever possibly get in your way or nothing that could ever stop you from manifesting your specific person. And there's a few different ideas that I usually get, like overthinking, stuff like that we could actually use to our benefit. We could actually use them as a superpower, right? Could you imagine taking what you feel is holding you back and then turning it into a massive superpower? But that's what we're gonna talk about today. And maybe even when I mention this, even with this intro, something comes to mind. You're like, oh yeah, I could manifest just if I didn't do blank, just if I didn't have blank, just if I didn't overthink, if I didn't have ADHD, dyslexia, stuff like that. But we're gonna dive into it and actually use an idea that I got from a book by Jay Samit. If you know who that is, not anything, it's not a manifestation book, but it does give huge insight and it's going to help you kind of push past anything you feel is holding you back, and it's gonna be great. So one of the main things, or the one thing I would say people always mention when it comes to manifesting a specific person that holds them back is going to be overthinking, right? We all feel like we overthink sometimes, have anxiety, have worries, and one, that is completely normal to have that. But we can kind of I don't want to say get rid of it, because in this video we're going to use it to our advantage as a superpower, but we can kind of switch the way we think about it and then again use it as a superpower. Kind of in the same way that when people message or talk about having ADHD and they're like, oh, I can't focus, because we're meant to think upon and get into that wish fulfilled state, right? But in their case, they think, well, I can't think about something too long, I can't hold it in my memory, and my mind just wanders all the time. Now, I will say that's usually something that happens when we're visualizing anyway. So if you're kind of worrying or overthinking, like, I can't visualize, it's really hard for me, it's okay. Everybody kind of has an issue with visualization, but as you kind of calm into it, you relax into it, you meditate, you allow the image of exactly what you desire to come to you, you're gonna find that it gets much, much easier and it's almost automatic. We'll get into it. But the book by Jay Samit called Disrupt You. Now again, it's not a manifestation book specifically, but it talks about this idea because he mentions entrepreneurs and how over 25% of all entrepreneurs are dyslexic. And he himself mentions that he is dyslexic. So throughout school, he had a hard time learning. The teachers all said he wasn't going to amount to not anything. And now he's a millionaire making hundreds of millions of dollars every year. And think about that, how he could have used that against himself, right? That could have caused him to give up. He had every single excuse to give up. But then he mentions this characteristic or trait or statistic, I guess, that over 25% of all entrepreneurs are dyslexic. And you're like, okay, well, what's going on with that? And he mentions that in school then, he had to kind of rethink everything. He had to approach things differently than other students had to. And this led to apparently the entrepreneurial attitude. And I was reading this thinking, well, how can we also actually use this information when it comes to manifestation? Because I would say anytime someone comes to me and says, I can't do blank because of blank, I kind of think in my mind, well, how can we actually use this to our advantage? Because your reality always wants to bring you to your manifestation, to your desire in the quickest way possible. So if we're feeling a certain way or having certain things about us that we don't like right now, how can these actually be used to our advantage? And I always think about that, and that's something you can use anytime you feel like you have something working against you. How is this actually working out in my favor? And you'll prime your subconscious mind to actually give you that answer, and you're gonna find yourself really in that state, really feeling it, and you're gonna, again, because everything is a reflection, there's nothing outside of you that is not reflecting an internal state. So when you see, again, you feel something, you can assume anything on your characteristics, on your overthinking, on your dyslexia, on your ADHD, to then point towards, okay, this actually helps me. Like, let's take, for example, ADHD. You might be watching this, and I've had a bunch of different people mention in my email coaching sessions that they felt like they couldn't really manifest that well because they had or they were diagnosed with ADHD. And I mentioned, well, why can't we actually, again, like the same topic I'm using in this video, why can't we actually use that to our benefit, right? If your mind is always going, many times we've heard success stories where people think of something, completely drop it and let it go, and then it manifests, right? Because they don't allow their thoughts or anything to kind of get themselves or pull themselves out of the state. So that's a superpower for people with ADHD. And if you don't have ADHD, that's okay. It's not gonna affect your manifestation, but you can use that to your benefit. You can use any little thing to your benefit. And so you could almost reach out to me with any sort of worry, fear, like you think, is this holding me back? And we can work together I'll show you exactly, there's literally nothing you could send me that is holding you back that we couldn't switch to a superpower. And again, this is something we could do in all my coaching sessions, or if you just wanted to reach out to me, if you were feeling worried or had questions. But there is absolutely no situation that cannot work out in our favor. And even drawing it back away from the idea of dyslexia or ADHD, there is no situation that you could ever be in that would not allow you to still get your manifestation. And I would even think about past manifestations or just past experiences that you had, and think about the situations you had been in and how you still got exactly what you want. Like, I can't tell you how many times in a email coaching, in a video coaching, in a phone call coaching, that we find the person in a not so good situation, or that's what most people would describe it as, but it ends up being the reason that they manifest. Like, one individual was on a break with their specific person, and because of that break was the reason that they got together. And the whole break, they were worrying, fearful, having anxiety, and we just kept going. I knew for a fact, because on my end, I can always see everyone's success and how sometimes it looks like it's not working out well, but I can see almost, maybe sometimes coming from an outside perspective, you can see that everything is working out in the best possible way for the best case scenario with this person. And in that situation, again, with just whether it be the fact that I was meeting with this person every week and we were able to talk it through, and I was telling them, okay, do this, do that, do this, they were still having anxiety and worry. So if you're right now someone who's thinking, I have anxiety so I can't manifest, I have worry so I can't manifest, it's keeping me from the state, that's totally not true, because your logical thinking is different from your assumptions, right? You can think, oh, ADHD is holding me back, but if we have the assumption that it's actually working to our benefit, then that's how it's going to basically show itself in our reality. Because why can't it? Literally, name one thing that can't really be used to our benefit. And you may have some things about yourself, or maybe you're thinking about other people that might be something to hold them back or you back, but I guarantee you, if we just ask ourselves, how is this actually my superpower? You're gonna prime your mind for that positive outcome, that positive effect, and you're gonna see that it actually shows in your reality in the exact way that you want. But I never want you to be feeling as if anything could hold you back. That is I definitely don't want you thinking that way, because nothing could ever hold you back from what you want. You can get what you desire. You can have the love you want. You can have the career. You can have the life. You can have the money. You have literally anything, and nothing can stop you. So I just want to make another announcement. So tomorrow, if you guys are seeing this in time, I'm doing a seminar called Make Your Ex Obsessed. So every weekend, I think I'm doing a seminar. The last one was Manifest a Text from Your Ex. That is still available in a PDF, so you can still get the lecture, still get the workbook. But tomorrow we're going to be discussing the topic of making your ex obsessed, or it's going to be literally your specific person. So you could use these for literally anything. I just thought it was fun that it rhymed, so that's why I named it that. But it'll happen tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time. If you do want to check it out or get tickets for it, you can head over to my website. I'll put it right here, kyleaugustcoaching.com. I'm also going to put it in the link in the description. We're going to have a lot of fun, because last time we had a lot of people manifesting right after, which is really, really cool. So if you guys want to join us for that, absolutely would be awesome to have you. If you can't make it, if you do still sign up, you're going to get the workbook that goes along with it. This one too, I kind of went a little bit overboard with it when it came to the workbook. There's a lot of pages in it, But I think the more information, the better. It's a perfect reference for what we're going to talk about in the lecture. But yeah, if you can't make it, you'll still get the lecture in the workbook. So hopefully I see you guys there. I'll probably make another video tomorrow morning reminding everyone, because if you can't make it tomorrow, you just have to wait a week for my next seminar. I don't know if I'm gonna read. This is all new, doing seminars every weekend. So I don't know if I'm gonna keep them up, or I'm gonna change them, or I'll redo them, or keep them through the PDF, or maybe because I almost think, let me know in the comments below if you guys have reached this far in the video. When it comes to the seminars, do you like that I keep them up, that you can still get the PDF and the lecture and everything? Or are you guys like, it's too much? Because I was kind of thinking there's too many seminars going on my website, and I think it's best maybe just focus on one. But let me know what you guys think. Also, if you have any questions about what we talked about, or you feel like there's something holding you back, we could always discuss them in the comments, and we'll talk about how that's actually your superpower. But make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video, and then don't forget to subscribe as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.